Hello, Paul.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
I uh I had to leave and come back a couple of times, so I don't know if maybe Cassandra had the same issue I did. I tried a couple of times to leave the meeting and come back before I actually got through. So
Okay, that's interesting. Um,
yeah, I don't know. It happens every so often with Zoom. I actually had to update my Zoom the other day because I had I don't know, old version, I guess. But it happens every so often with Zoom where it says the host will let you in or something, and then you just kind of like stay in the waiting room in the purgatory forever.
whereabouts are you?
I'm in Montreal.
Oh, Montreal. Okay.
I
Uh,
am a Montrealer born and raised.
okay. I love old Montreal, old Quebec City.
Are you a Torontonian?
Yes, I'm in Mississauga actually.
Yeah, a lot of Montrealers moved to Mississauga in the late 70s.
I'm surprised we let them in.
Well, there was a very big exodus, that's for sure. That's when my parents decided they were going to send me to school in French instead. So, four
Okay.
kids, we all went to school in French. Both my
Okay.
parents were unilingual Anglophones, and they sent us all to school in French, and it worked because we're all still here. So,
Okay. I was actually most of my time spending in Manhattan Beach, California.
oh
So
yeah.
I only came back here since COVID because I thought I was going to be safer in Canada. Boy, was I wrong.
Where is Manhattan Beach? Is that like a LA
In
suburb or
California, California.
but is it an LA suburb or is it
Um, yes. Yep.
because
Um,
I used to spend some time down in California, but in and around San Diego.
okay.
Had one of our offices down there in La Jolla, and then we moved the office right down onto the border at can't remember the name of that town, and then they moved it back up into sort of San Diego itself. So
Okay.
I have not spent a lot of time in LA.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Exodus, there's a lot of people moving out of California right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world today, and the world is so divided today that it's incredible. So,
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, if you believe the headlines, there's a lot of people leaving California to go to Texas and Austin in particular. I don't know if that's actual truth or not, but that's what it says.
yeah, yeah. So, why a dating site? Of all things, Paul, why a dating site?
Uh, it has, I mean, I guess I'll say things that I would not be afraid to say with Cassandra on the call. So, the dating site is Cassandra's idea. I am not an originator of the idea. I am let's call me a seed capital investor.
Hmm.
Um, so Cassandra is an acquaintance, a friend of a guy that I work with. And he sent me to meet her because he's in the Bahamas and I'm in Montreal and Cassandra's in Montreal. So he sent me to meet her. I think he maybe sent me to tell her we're not interested. And she said she had a dating site based on astrology. And I said, oh, that's a really good idea. Hasn't it already been done? And she said, not really. And I poked around and I realized that people have tried it, but it hasn't really been done. And the I think the funny part of this is that I don't know anything about apps. I don't know anything about dating, and I don't know anything about astrology. But I think I can recognize a good idea when I see one, and I think this is a good idea. So the question is, can we execute? Because the graveyard is full of great ideas. So
Hmm.
can we execute it and make it into a reality? That's really the question. But I mean, I've been married for 20 years and been with my wife for 25. So, the last time I went on a date is in the 90s.
A
And
while ago.
yeah, a while ago. And I don't have any apps on my phone. The only apps that are on my phone are when my kids borrow my phone and they put their stuff on there. But I don't really I don't use my phone for much more than emailing and calling people. So and I don't know anything about astrology, to be honest. So I'm
Okay.
not I'm more of the how can we make this work guy than the I think, I mean, every so often when you talk to Cassandra, she'll say, oh, that's because you're a Scorpio, or oh, that's because you're a whatever. And all that goes right over my head. I'm not a, but I think it's a good idea, and I think it has the capacity, the possibility to. Well, I think that it's funny because I think that there's a bit of a shift is happening in the world of dating where it used to be if you had, if I go back to the days of going out in a bar to meet a girl, if your bar had girls in it, you had a successful bar.
Mhm.
I think dating apps were like that in North America for a long time. If you had girls in your app, you had a successful app.
Yep.
I think there's a bit of a switch happening where the guys are becoming
More of the commodity.
more, yeah, a more valuable commodity than they were before.
Um,
So is that an opportunity to maybe, figure out how you can have a more balanced website where a dating site where there's an equal number of men and women? Maybe.
yeah. And I was kind of floored by what Cassandra said that about 50-50 believe in star signs. And I thought it was more like 90-10. But then again, I have no stats to back any of that up. So I would be interested to find out if men really do believe in astrology.
I don't know about believe in it, but are aware of it, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So I think
I
that if
think
you
everybody's
say,
aware of it,
yeah,
but whether, I mean, I think the attraction might be, even if it was 90-10 or 95-5, if men believe there's women that believe in astrology and they're here in this room, they're going to go
yeah,
there, just like your
yeah.
bar analogy.
Yeah, I think that if men think, okay, if I need to, I'll be a little bit sort of, crude about it. If I need to pretend to believe about astrology, I'll do that.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's gonna get me, if it's gonna get me into this bar with all these girls, then yeah, I'll pretend to believe in astrology. But I think that everybody, I'll use myself as the example of someone who knows very little about astrology. I do know what my sign is, and I think I do know kind of, the in very general terms what that is supposed to dictate as far as what my personality is. I won't say that it means anything to me with regards to what my quote unquote opposite matching sign is. That doesn't register with me at all. But I mean, as you said, I think that if I believe that girls believe in it and I want to meet girls, then okay, that's the place where I'm going to go. So
yeah,
that kind of makes sense to me.
yeah. Did you
Yeah.
send Cassandra a reminder? Does she know?
Yeah, I just sent her a text message just to
Okay,
see I haven't got an answer back yet, but
okay.
and I think she took two half-hour segments, if I
Yeah,
read the thing
yep,
correctly.
yep.
I have a question just as we're sort of waiting, and maybe we'll go off and come back on and I'll be able to figure out. But you said something last time about buying someone's page or account or whatever. Hey, how much, like, what do they sell for? Is it some multiple of the number of people on them, or how does it work?
Uh, uh, I think it's what you're willing to pay for it. This particular one is still available. It's a jewelry, medium to higher end jewelry, 31,500 followers. So I think she would accept anything from 300 to 500 to $800. At least that's the impression she gave me. Um, so I think for the person who's struggling to get a following, that would be a great start. So because
And
even
you got to figure that your typical site that is addressing jewelry is going to be a majority of women are going to be on there. It's not like there's a lot of guys on there. So you've got 31,000
well, there might be if they're looking
ladies.
to buy jewelry for their significant others, right?
Yeah, but then we don't want them because that means they're already married or they're getting married.
True, true, true. But with a 90% divorce rate,
Yeah, exactly. And they
right?
have friends too.
Right. So I try not to discount people because it's not who they are, it's who they know.
For sure. How many people do they influence? That's really what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
Hmm.
So ballpark number, that kind of list would cost you $750.
I would go in. I mean, she's not a client, so I would go in at 300, $250 and see what she says. All right. She might come back with 500 and you counter at, 300. I think
But
it's
it's hundreds.
definitely worth it for $300.
Sure. I mean, I was actually surprised by what Cassandra said, that she had an account that Pinterest or something that had like 20,000 people. I don't know. That's one of my disadvantages in all of this, is that I don't really understand whether that's a lot or a little. It sounds like a lot to me, but my daughter, I think my daughter has like 2,000 followers, or maybe that's even my son. And I'm astounded that anybody would care what a, 17-year-old boy is doing, but
Yeah, and the second part of that equation is the quality of the followers, right? Because some people have followers because they dance on TikTok or Instagram, right? So the quality of the follower is not very good. Um, like my followers are generally entrepreneurs or people that want to start a business or grow their business. So it takes a lot longer to get quality followers. Um, so, but it's anybody's guess who's following her in terms of jewelry. I've seen some of her videos and she's talking about, different rings and, how much they cost and stuff like that. So, hope, and I would hope it's not, teenagers that are following.
yeah, because that's not going to get you a whole lot.
Yeah. But
Okay, I
still,
haven't heard back.
even if it is teenagers, people see, oh, 31,000 followers, this must be a person worth following. It gives you credibility. Even if the followers are in Australia and are 2 years old, the 31,000 still gives you credibility and will help you get more followers because of the followers.
Yeah, it gives you momentum, right?
It
So
gives you
it gives
momentum.
you
Yes, it gives
a
you
mass.
trust.
Yeah. Um, well, I sent her a message. I have not heard back. I don't want to keep you on here. Uh, I sent her a message saying, is everything okay? Um, how does it work now? If we have 2:30 also, can we just come back on at 2:30 or?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. One of the things that I wanted to bounce off both of you, but I might as well bounce it off you, is that I believe the quickest way to grow your followers is with controversy. Okay. I think we should start a dating channel, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, um, and even Twitter, to do live events like once a day, 7, 8 p.m. We got to look at the West Coast, and we've got to look at Europe as well. We got to pick a time to go live every day at that time and invite other influencers who talk about dating and relationships and stuff, to create, and maybe even have 6 to 10 panelists that have differing opinions and create that controversy, create viewership. And I think that's the quickest way to get to, 1 million followers.
So the other people would come on to be panelists. Do you have to pay them to come on, or would they come on for exposure of their own?
No, they would come on for exposure of their own. I mean, especially if we tell them we have, a marketing budget or something. There has to be something in there for them, at least at the beginning. But once you have, 5 to 7 or 10 panelists, oh, here's Cassandra. Once you have, those panelists, then they're more likely to come back because now you're cross promoting, right?
Mhm.
One of the videos that I created is, how to get to 1 million followers is by inviting 7 to 10 other people to go to be co-hosts and cross promote to each other, right? So let's say if you have, 1 million followers, if I get 10% of your audience, that's going to be help me grow a lot faster than me trying to do it organically. And vice versa. So some of my people will follow them, and let's say 8 or 10% or even 20%, depending on how engaging the content is. People love to be entertained. People love controversy. So I think that's the fastest way to get your numbers up. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we could, I can imagine people being interested to come on and hear experts talking about dating.
Not necessarily experts, people with different opinions. I mean, we can certainly bring on experts. We can bring on psychologists, we can bring on, dating coaches, we can bring on whatever people, but we can't have, 7 or 8 people all agreeing with each other, right? That's going to be boring. But if we have, people that, offer a different opinion and there's a debate, you know, a professional debate where we respect each other, I think that's how we're going to get to 1 million followers a lot faster. Hello, Cassandra.
Hi, please allow me to apologize. I had a appointment today that was somewhat concerning. So just things went over time, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. This never happens.
Okay, I hope everything's okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I hope. We'll see.
Okay. So what we were just talking about is one of the things that I want to present to both of you. I believe the fastest way, and I think if you're going to relaunch, you've got to relaunch in a massive way. We don't have $1 million marketing budget. And I think the best way to do that is really what I've been trying to do for the last, 3 or 4 months. It's to bring together 10 influencers to talk about dating in this case, to go live together on the co-host feature and bring in controversy to the topic and have different guests at different times. So we pick a time during the day that allows for, whatever market we want, either North America or European, or you said Pakistan,
India,
sorry, and create controversy. The reason why, these live shows, what do you call them, TV shows where they're live, like Survivor and stuff like that. These are shows that have been going on forever because of the controversy, right? The Bachelor, because of the controversy, right?
Good point.
yeah, people get invested in it for sure.
Right. And they get to know personalities and they do become invested in it. And they might learn something from somebody else's perspective. I think that's the quickest way we're going to get to 1 million followers. What are your thoughts?
I already have 2 topics for your first 2 debates.
Okay. What are they?
First topic of conversation on debate number 1 is who should pay for the first date?
Yeah. Yeah, I
We
like
just
that.
did this on a podcast. You know what? Some men obviously believe that it should be equal, but that takes away from the whole tradition of the way it used to be. I prefer tradition, but if the man is pursuing the woman, or is it the woman pursuing the man at this point?
Well, that's another conversation, right?
True.
Right. And I would ask, why are women allowing someone else to be in control of their love life?
Like who?
Like men.
I
Right?
think women should just, I
Okay,
think,
but let's save this conversation for the live, because I think we all agree this is a good idea, right? And
I'm sorry, I missed 17 minutes. I am so sorry, but obviously I missed something in this whole topic. But I get what you're talking about. So I think what I just got was you believe that there should be 10 influencers together having a debate.
yeah,
And where on which platform are we talking about at this point?
well, we can use programs like StreamYard to go live everywhere at the same time.
Yeah, that's
Like
where we do
TikTok,
our podcast.
yeah, YouTube,
I did
and
not know it does TikTok, StreamYard. It's funny, I
well,
should.
no, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. You can use
Wow.
multiple computers to go live on multiple platforms.
Wow.
Yep.
Leo. Okay, so just bring me back up to speed. So you were saying that, and they should go into how do we find the influencers?
I think we need something to give them. Because I've been trying, like I said, I've been trying to do this for, the last 3 months, and I posted some videos about this. But then again, I'm talking about, how to start a business. This
Yeah,
is a
right.
this is a different conversation. So
Right.
we need to approach different influencers. Um,
It's not easy. I'm telling you that everything that I do, like you, I randomly do the work for it. Like I randomly reach out to people that I respect or admire or anything like that and see if somebody responds to me.
yeah. See
So I'm
what
pretty much
what
like you, and I do like, I mean, I have a following here in Montreal, but that's useless to us because we never want Quebec. We're not going French at all. Never will. No intent there. Anti-Quebec.
okay.
But they are the funny thing enough. I'd love to have you on the marketing meetings. These guys in India seem to be really, really good, and our numbers are definitely going up. And the credit processing situation that I had before, uh, I got some emails that I just realized I had sitting there this morning while I was at my appointment. That seems I think this is going through. So this should be good news for us, and we have to incorporate that. Plus, other news for you is that I don't know if it was you. I think it was you that said we should look for developers in the Philippines. I did. We are making that change, not to Philippines. However, we are hiring this team of web developers that seem to be so far my initial feeling, but we'll see, when we actually go to work with them, is that they're phenomenal. They have a huge team and they're dedicated developers for less than we're paying now. And that's all because I took your idea and took it very seriously. And I know that's how other companies work anyways. Some people deal with the Soviet Union and pay $5 an hour and things like that. So I know that everything you've said is right. For me, just changing is just difficult when I change people. It's hard for me to, let go.
Yeah.
But it's now or never kind of thing. So we're doing that now. And the influencers, if you have any ideas as to people you think, and if it helps you as well, I can reach out to people on your behalf as well as mine, if that gives something back towards you. But you just have to give me an idea, because right now my brain is full of all these other things that are happening right now as we speak with regards to credit card processing, changing development, all of it. It's this is going to be a week unlike any other that I've had.
Okay.
Um,
Who are you using
all
for
good.
credit card processing now?
Right now we have PayPal, but PayPal does not. First I had Stripe. Stripe then took us down, or whatever, took their product away from us because we are considered, we're in the same field, we're in the same category as gambling and firearms and pornography.
Wow.
We're a high risk category now, because they explained, all the companies I've talked to with getting involved explained to us that it's because of what happened 10 years previous to us, how people got involved for credit card fraud and or money laundering and things like that. And then somebody else explained, when you have a business that potentially can make, their words exactly, a buttload of money, that you're considered high risk no matter how you see it. You're high risk because you're not actually selling a product. You're selling something that anybody can claim they're selling, buy fake cards, whatever, use that and get back the money. Because anyways, I understand now, and I understand that we're one of those companies that can make a lot of money in every country. And I get what they want. And so we went with PayPal anyways. We were integrating PayPal before Stripe took us down, because they don't take dating sites. And PayPal accepted us, just like our bank. our bank was, they love our idea. And PayPal is great so far, but they don't take Indian rupees, not reoccurring payments either. So we're still,
Hmm.
we want the reoccurring payments because unfortunately, and I'm not trying to sound mean, but we want people to forget the fact they're paying and their card to be charged. And
That's a huge percentage of your net profit.
I know. So I went to you know Costco. I was going to go with Moneris, who wanted like $3,000 when it comes down to their fees and everything. And I got fed up of the process and I spent 2 weeks on it, arguing back and forth that they were charging us too much and extra fees, hidden fees after I had signed. And I went to Costco and so far they did everything in 24 hours. And right now they just need me to update a few things on the site. And it seems that we're going through like instantly. So
Okay.
if that's the case, yeah, with accepting Indian rupees and with being able to have reoccurring payments. There's a lot of companies don't do reoccurring payments for that reason.
Okay.
So which is a good thing for us. So that's where we're at with this. So the change of development should be happening this week, or at least I'm on all these different things. I just have to take care of the NDA that I had the company send me and get all this done. And we have, I don't know if Paul told you, we have several meetings with a couple other people that also have these awesome ideas to integrate to go into Sri Lanka as well. And they have this idea to put us on the telephones there because people in India don't like to pay through their credit card or debit card. So if we could get our app to the stage, which thanks to you, I'm changing developers and getting a whole team and getting it at cheaper for us. We might end up on all these telephones. And if that's the case, integrated into the telephone bill, and that would solve another problem.
Okay.
So it's a big week, big week.
Mm. Yeah, that
At
sounds
least
exciting.
part is my work. Maybe not
Okay.
everybody else's, but my work.
Okay, it sounds like we need to play catch up. Is the infrastructure in place to handle this additional business?
Well, it's been designed that way, but we always thought it's going to go slowly, right? But now we need to think of, okay, what does it look like if 2 million people are on it? So now we have to have it simulated for 2 million people. So we're going to get on that right away with all these little fixes and all this extra credit card processing company. I still haven't received the API for it. All of this company in India that is a full-blown, like in the Philippines, full-blown, handle everything, understand everything, things that I can't even believe that were said to me that all of a sudden make sense that nobody's explained to me before. Yeah, we're going to make sure I'm making sure that everything's done according to all the information and all the feedback, which Leo, I have to say thank you because you've already, given me extra ideas, already helped me feel secure with your knowledge. You do have knowledge with what's it called? Okay, Cupid. And the stickiness is definitely a part of it, which was why we integrated the horoscope and all these other things. We also do have an influencer I spoke with yesterday. Was it yesterday? Another influencer, and I just have to figure out how we could help her with, she's an astrologer / tarot reader. She wants to be on board. But I think my offering to people like that, because we do need that as well, is going to be, you're getting featured. We're paying for the marketing, you're getting featured, but that's going to be what we have to offer you at the moment, at least until this starts going. Like
Okay,
you had
so
mentioned
hold
earlier.
on. So what do you mean? You're going to charge her to be on
No,
the
I'm not
show?
going to charge
Okay.
her. It's not the show. She's featured in the sense when you go into the tarot part of it. By the way, you were right about something. I looked at one of our links. I was looking at the SEO, trying to find out how good our SEO has been for all the months we've been paying someone. And like we definitely show up. We are not ranking any closer as far as I'm concerned. That's just me being me. But I did come across a link that was there, and the link talks about this 10 best astrology sites. So there are more creeping out over and over and over again. However, the one thing I am certain of is we are built so big and we've put so much time and energy into this. I don't think anybody can touch how big our idea is, even if they came in today and wanted to do their own thing. There is no way that they can establish what we've established, meaning the trademarks, the lawyers, the everything. We've just gone too far. And even with these little other astrology dating sites, so-called dating sites, there's no way they could accomplish what we've done, because the fight I've had to have with Apple just to get us approved, who is no longer taking dating sites, period, point blank, like it doesn't matter what kind, they're not taking them. We were the last. The reality of, you know, getting accepted with credit processing companies and everything, I think we're safe. But I still do know it will happen. I mean, Netflix came up with the reality show based on sun signs. So I mean, they're trying to do what we do, right? They came up with it after we started building this, but and I know it's very possible, but I would also like to get to a point where we can do the exact same thing. And because I happen to know producers and directors and stuff like that, I thought Tasha actually came up with the idea, if we ever got to the point we want to be, we could have a reality show that wouldn't cost all that much actually, and do what Netflix is doing, and it'd be a lot of fun. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
Mhm.
So there are many ideas and many things that can be attached to this, and there is a phase 2 and a phase 3 if we ever get to that point. Right now, it's getting this global. And now with our conversations with Paul and I having these contacts in Sri Lanka, as well as Mumbai, which have nothing to do with our marketing company, but just this idea of having us put on telephones. And the guy in Sri Lanka letting us know how they actually try to get people from Australia to match up. We basically have to go global, and you're right, go big. We have to go global sort of now, not one country at a time, but almost allow for every country, just like we're claiming, and figure
Okay,
out
so
how to do
let me
that.
make sure I understand. When someone buys a phone, the app is in the phone? Is that
But that's if we end up being able to make this deal. This is all
right? But
very
let's
early
assume
on
we
stages.
are. So
Yeah,
the app is on the phone.
correct.
The person buying that phone won't know what that app is. So
No,
it doesn't solve the marketing issue.
I disagree. And you know, the guy in Sri Lanka also said that. I absolutely disagree, because what do you do when you get a new phone? Think about what you do. Well, if you're like me, who's had
Delete 99% of the apps. That's what I did.
I'm not that way. I'm going to
Uh,
keep the ones I do go through them like you, and I have a lot of apps on my phone, whereas Paul is the opposite. So I have a lot of apps on my phone, but they're all because I have a purpose for all of them. But I go through the apps and I'll keep the ones I want, like most people, right? Everybody does. But the reality is, people are still going to see our app. They're still going to see it and wonder what it is. They're going to wonder what it is. They're not just going to randomly delete it. If it was a fit app and exercise app, you get a gazillion of those I delete. I don't want that. I'm going to pick my own. What other kinds of apps would you delete? If it has anything to do, if you're a woman, you're going to keep anything that helps you use filters or looks or whatever, probably. Anything Adobe, you're going to keep if you're a business person, if you use it. If you use something else, you're not. I think it establishes our brand immediately. I think because I'm putting myself in their shoes, I just think I'm still going to wonder what it is, click on it. Oh my God, okay. I do. I think it would establish the brand almost immediately. Doesn't mean everybody's going to sign up. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it's brand awareness with not having to pay. And for every sign up, there would be a deal established with them, which if if this can be done, because I've never heard of anything like this, and if it can be done, it's hella, like, it's smart. It's
Well,
genius.
it's definitely a good strategy, I agree. But let's not make the assumption that it's going to be done. Let's assume it's not going to be done.
You're right.
And
Totally
develop
right.
an aggressive marketing system
You're right.
to get you to 1 million followers no matter what happens, right?
Right.
Plan for the worst, expect the best.
Actually, you're
Um,
right. Yep.
So
I'm just an optimist, usually. So, and
I
usually
like to be a realist.
yes, I'm that too. But
Okay.
I do actually see this. I can see this whole thing coming together now. I'm starting to see it. And when I start to see it, that's when I start to fill in the little details that are missing to make it happen. So that's kind of the way I work.
Okay.
But you're right. Assume that it's not happening for
Right.
now, anyways, because it's going to take time. It's not like a tomorrow kind of thing.
Right. So let's talk about the biggest challenge right
Right.
now. The biggest challenge in dating site, the biggest challenge in business altogether is
Mhm.
acquiring clients at a cost efficient manner.
Right.
Your biggest challenge from my perspective is getting clients, right? And keeping them, right? Because acquiring them could be the worst thing you can do if you can't keep them happy to create positive reviews. If you acquire clients and they're unsatisfied and create negative reviews, it's better not to have them.
Right.
Agreed?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I do.
so how do we know that we can acquire them and make them happy? And this is why we have to open the floodgates, because when you open a city, right?
I
Or
agree.
or a province or a state or whatever it is, if I sign up and I'm paying X number of dollars per year and I look at it and there's 5 women that none of them are appealing to me, I'm going to be upset.
The other day when I was on the app, when we had a marketing meeting on Thursday, the guys had mentioned that they were marketing Canada as well, which we hadn't said okay. We weren't thinking about Canada, but I didn't say anything and I just let it go. And then a couple days ago, I was on the app and I'm seeing people from Montreal and Toronto now registering. I've got pictures and they're starting to get better. They're more appealing. Like, I mean, there's guys that are okay. But what I'm trying to say is it seems that we are doing Canada now as well. These guys are trying to get our cost obviously per click down, and they're doing a very good job. So your question as to how do we acquire them and how do we make them stick? I don't really think that the sticking part is going to be that hard because of everything everything that we already basically have to offer. The concept is there. We have just the beginning steps of it. In other words, a tarot reader, in other words, the blog, but the tarot reader. And we're going to have astrologers on there where they can have a free reading and therefore also pay someone for a personalized reading. We only have one as of now, but once we have lots, that is going to be how we keep people sticking. Not to mention the developers that we have now we're going to have incorporated a personalized, I don't know how we do this, but a personalized horoscope rather than a general collective horoscope, which goes out to all the Virgos,
Well,
Geminis.
you can use AI to do that, couldn't you? To personalize it.
Actually, you know what? That's what we're not doing anymore, by the way. And I'm going to say this for you too, if you're using this, because I just found out, our blog has been done with some people that we know, and our blog was going out daily and everything like this. And for the life of me, this is coming from someone who did know SEO in the past. Now I know nothing and I don't want to know anymore. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out where are we on Google. By the way, I didn't know there was Apple Pages, but there is Apple Pages too. But where are we on Google? Where are we falling? Where are we ranking on the pages? And we're still 30 pages, 40 pages, 50 pages. We've gone nowhere. And there has to be a reason because the blog just that in itself should have helped us bump up a little bit. And so I talked to the other development company, the ones that I told you about. And she said, well, are they writing the content themselves or are they using ChatGPT? And I said, they're using ChatGPT. And she said,
Oh,
you were flagged
yeah,
by Google. Google flagged
yeah.
you.
And
You're
probably
using, and of
penalized
course,
for a while.
I mean, this is like, so I've had my last few days going, you've got to be kidding me. And, I should know better. I do know better. That's the problem. So I'm a little upset with myself and I'm just making changes. That's it. That's all done. There is no more doing it right, doing properly, doing it the way it should be. And as much as we all, I'm sure they're not the only people. Everybody I like Chat GPT. It's great for some things, but if you're using it daily and that's your only method, it's plagiarism. Like
Yeah.
you're not using anything out of your own brain. So in that respect, I just learned something from her that was, something that I honestly should have questioned before, but was allowing it.
Right. But how many followers or how many viewers do you have on the podcast?
The podcast, we're only on the 11th one. So it only like we only started 2 months ago. I couldn't tell you how many followers. I don't know if there's any SEO or anything like that going on with that. We're not at that stage. We were working at just getting comfortable with it. Now I'm at the point where I am. Tasha certainly is, who is our tarot reader, and Kira is this astrologer that I just that wants to come in and be a part of our company. Obviously we plan to have her on our podcast. And then I don't know if you know who Taya Lopez is. Okay, well, years ago when I was into social media and I wanted to build a social media management company, I took the Taya Lopez course just to see if I can learn from him. He's one of the wealthiest social media people out there for everything. And it was a $2,000 course and I did everything, but I already knew everything. I was already into this for forever and have been doing it for other people. All this to say, he's got something going around Facebook right now, offering people, if they want, to be on their podcasts for a select group of people. So of course I threw my name in since I, dealt with him in the past. And if we could get seen by him, that would be awesome on our podcast. But we also had a meeting last week with this guy named Matt, who gets people viral on YouTube and everything. And this person really knows what he's doing when it comes to YouTube, TikTok. He's expensive, but YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts. So we're having another meeting with him and we'll have to see. It's a question of getting the right person. Right now, we're just starting, right? So I'm okay. We use StreamYard actually. So you brought up StreamYard. We use StreamYard and we use Captivate, which is a contact that Paul had found us. Sorry, not a contact, but anyways, he found that through his contact. And we've paid for that for the whole year and that distributes to everything. I need to take some time once I get through all these other things that I'm taking time on to actually look into it myself and see how it works, get the gist of it, maybe talk to someone to find out how to figure out how many subscribers we have. We
Yeah.
do need more promotion for sure. We
Yeah.
need it promoted. And
Well, hold on for a second. I think your lost opportunity costs right now are way too high, Cassandra, because you're trying to do everything on your own and you're going to do 1% of what you should be doing. Right now, because you don't have a budget, you should have at least 3 to 10 social media managers to do the content that you need out there.
I
You
got
are
you.
cheating yourself right now.
It's not that I'm cheating myself. It's because we only have so much capital. Has nothing to do with cheating myself because my God,
But a
if there's
social media
any,
manager is about $500 or $600 a month in the Philippines to work full time.
In the Philippines again, eh?
Yeah. I have 15 employees in the Philippines. We hire social media managers 10 at a time. We train them 10 at a time for our clients. We're always having a class, and this before the class is done, they're being hired by clients. So you need that. You need the leverage tools. We're not using leverage tools.
I don't disagree with you. I just to your point about using people internationally, you have to realize when I started 2 years ago, I had never dealt with anybody internationally. In fact, I was the promotion person. I was the one that promoted everybody else, and made everybody else the stars. So it's a first for me dealing with developers and outsourcing and this and that. And I went through the first year. I'm telling you, if you ever wanted to see somebody more paranoid, I was paranoid because the idea of not being able to see the person drove me crazy that all of this would just be taken or something like that. And I had to get through that on a daily basis. And my conversations were not normal. My friends would hear, oh my gosh, maybe they're going to steal it and stuff like that, what I went through. But now I'm actually starting to love working with people internationally, starting to love it. I love the fact they're cheaper. I'm understanding, laws and policies and things that I didn't know before. So I'm still learning. And it's a big job we're not going and starting up a normal company. We're going from 0 to 100. And that's 0 having nothing to now we have the tangible product that is everybody says, my God, why isn't there something like this out here? And to like wanting to be out there in the world. So yes, I will look into the Philippines for social media management as well.
Well, no, see, there's your instincts, right?
Yes,
Taking on yet another task. No, you shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't do that. You have to start learning to delegate. You can't grow a $50 million company by doing everything with your hands. You're never going to get there. Someone's going to steal this from you if you keep going like this. Honestly. Okay.
Yeah,
The reason we need social media managers and have connections, have people in the Philippines that can help you with that. But the reason why we need it is to find the influence, the 10 influence that we need. So when we go live on TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere else, we go live with a massive, anticipation.
right. I agree.
Right? And we should have at least, 10, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people watching live. Right. And then they start signing up right from the live podcast.
Yeah, and I know it works because the first day our tarot reader who only had 40,000 followers, the first day she promoted it, she got 5 people. Like the very first day for one video.
Mhm.
And that was seen by just I know
Yeah.
it's
Sorry, we only have 7 minutes left, so I want to get this in. Is there a free version for the website?
it's 3 days free right now. I've
Yeah,
done the month free.
I don't like that. I don't like that. And I think what we should be doing is opening up cities, right? And
Yeah,
gradually expanding the cities, because if you open a city like Toronto as an example, you better start with at least 10,000 people.
Okay, there is a problem that you're not seeing though when you do that. To open up, we can do that everywhere. We can do that for the whole world. You still need to pay to have it seen. There is no difference whether we're paying to have it seen and saying, hey, you get 3 days, you might as well sign up, or it's absolutely free. We still have to pay that Google, that ad spend, that because our SEO.
But we're talking about organic growth. Organic growth. Paid growth is bullshit. I don't believe in paid growth. Paid growth, you're going to need several $1 million to get this off the ground. It should be 90% or 99% organic. And that's why the live podcasts make sense, right?
Nice.
But when you start a city, this week we're promoting Toronto. We want
Yeah.
10,000 people in Toronto to sign up. And it
Right.
should be free for maybe 3 months or 6 months. Because if I sign up and I give you 6 months or 12 months, and I look at my my potential dating pool and I'm unsatisfied, I'm gone forever.
3 months, I know, but 6 months, 12 months, if you had a free site, you're most likely gone in 6 months for anyways.
Okay,
There's
pick a
not,
number, 3 months then, or 30 days or something. But we got to find a free session that we know we're going to go from 0 to at least 10,000 in that city, preferably 100,000 in that city, because there's got to be choice. Does that make sense, Paul? We got to have the numbers.
We've gone back and forth on the free period. I think we started out, what was it? Was it a week free? Yeah, we started at a week. It's gone down to 3 days. Obviously, having longer free period gets more people on it, but it doesn't bring any money in.
Right.
So we figured we'd try it this way, have it shortened and see if people were, enthusiastic enough to pay after 3 days. That didn't work. The problem with changing it now is that requires development, and that means you got to pay someone to make the change, and it's not a switch that you flick or a box that you fill in and change 3 to 30. It's not that easy. I don't disagree. I mean, is there a way to get, is that one of the ways to get more people on there? Okay, I have a question though, just because I like the idea of having this panel of people talking about all things dating. But let's use you as an example. If you have, I don't know, 30,000 people that follow you, what would I have to do for you to get you to agree to be on a panel to talk about dating, where the upside is maybe more people find out about you and follow you for other stuff? Like, what would I have to offer you to get you on?
Okay, well, I would put that in as part of the fee you're going to pay me to advise you. And by the way, I have 180,000 followers. And I do talk about dating and relationships because I don't see a big difference between a business relationship, and a business is not brick and mortar. A business is a trusted relationship between two people or parties of people, right?
Yep.
So the
Respect and
difference
trust.
between a loving relationship and a business relationship is very little. They're both developed on trust, right? So the difference, the transition between business and dating, it's very close or almost identical because it's the
Right. But
same
we're going to
strategy.
we're going to pay a group of people, let's say 7 people. We're going to pay 7 people something
I don't
to
think,
get
I,
them to
no, I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to pay them anything. Because we're going to create a strategy to show them how they can go from, 100,000 followers or even 1 million followers to 20 million followers. That's how they get paid. We're going to help them go from 1 million followers to 20 million followers.
because our thing is going to take everybody viral, not just our thing. It's
A
everybody that's
rising
involved in
tide
our
raises
thing.
all boats.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a great statement. Arising, yeah, wow.
Okay. I also have to get moving here, so I don't know what you want to do for next steps.
Well, next steps, I'm suggesting we need some sort of a budget. I need to be compensated as well. I can turn you into a 20 million or $50 million business over time, but we need to start using the right strategies. And some of what I've talked about are part of the right strategies. So we have, 3 major ways we can work together. The most popular way is what we call the interim CEO program, where I act as a CEO for that company, and that's $100,000 a year. You're not ready for that. The second one is what we call an advisory plus a done for you program. That ranges between $500 and $1,500 a month, plus about a $3,000 to $5,000 monthly budget towards marketing, because I'm going to put some of my people on promoting this project. Okay. And the lowest one is an advisory package only, from $5 to $1,500 a month. And I would expect you to hire the social media managers. I will help you find them and train them, but someone needs to do the homework. If that's the case, then we would have to hire a social media manager for 30 days to go through 500 resumes to find the others. Okay. So whatever we decide, we're not going to put more weight on Cassandra's shoulders. We need to take weight away from the shoulders so she can start being the CEO. I'm assuming you are the CEO. So someone needs to start acting like the CEO here. We need to start using leverage tools, which we're not. We're not using opportunities that are on the table today.
Okay,
So why don't you guys discuss that and schedule another meeting? We'll take it to the next step.
that's great.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
both. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.